And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to Gulfstream Park for another week of world-class thoroughbred action. Track announcer Pete Aiello, joined as always by ace handicapper extraordinaire Ron Nicoletti, getting ready for another great week of racing here at Gulfstream. 10 races on the card today with a 12:50 starting time.
Yeah, it should be another fun week here at Gulfstream Park. Tomorrow we'll have Beat the Expert. We got lots of things going on all weekend long. 12 race card on Saturday, and we just drew rest yesterday afternoon. So all things seem positive, and we got a couple of carryovers getting into today's card.
And you don't have to wait long. The first carryover is the Super High Five. Race 1 offers you that Super High Five opportunity with a $4,710 carryover, $1 the minimum play.
Yeah, we also got my first of 2 pick fives. I'm going to have a ticket in the first of early pick 5, 50-cent wager in there, Pete. So start the day off, and the Rainbow Six starting to build again.
Yeah, Rainbow Six has some momentum going into Labor Day weekend, just a couple of weeks away. You have $41,023 carried over in the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, we end the day, as I mentioned, with that other pick 5, so lots of things to do. A little later on throughout the afternoon, we'll let you know about trying to beat the expert, which they did pretty handily last week.
Well, that's all right. You bounced off of your big effort 2 weeks ago where you turned away all challengers.
Yeah, that's what it was. We started the day with a fast main track from turf course. We had a little brief shower right before we came on the air here. I don't think it's going to affect too much.
No, I don't either, other than it cooled us down for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. First race is on turf at 1 mile to start the afternoon. We start the 50-cent early pick 5 with this race. Scratch the main track only horses, the 8 and 9. A field of 7 to kick off the proceedings today. And the key question is, Ronnie, did you have a single in the early pick 5?
I did not. I went too deep here. Let's show you my ticket. I was very tempted to single a 3 in your holiday gift after the scratch of the number 8 Quinta Tata, but I was afraid of the 4 Annie O'Schiller, and up there right now early on in the wagering at 8-5. So holiday gift, I'll tell you why I like this horse. Going to depart from an inside post today, post 3. Showed speed, got caught late when breaking from posts 11 and 10 respectively against similar competition. It's the daughter of Harlan's Holiday. I think she has an easier time on or near the front end this time out.
Well, she played roundy round last time out as Lady Nura was on the engine the whole way. Holiday Gift was second the whole way. There was no movement of any kind from the back, and will be interesting to see if that's the way it plays out today. I always try to think that it's not going to be the case, at least from an announcement.
Round?
Yeah, we're like a carousel.
They just okay. No, I just never heard that one from you. So.
Okay.
Just thinking about it. Well, let's talk about the horse that's up there currently at 8-5, Annie O'Schiller, stepping up today to face winners after rating behind the pace and then drawing off to defeat 12-5 Maidens. Won that race rather impressively by 6 widening lengths. It's David Forks, Tyler Gaffleone going for 2 in a row. So you got our leading jock going to try and step up, doing something it's never done, and that's beat winners.
Well, the interesting thing is I give you a great way if you're looking at racing here in South Florida and you're not sure about the company lines and you're not watching this program. Here's a great way of finding out.
Right.
This horse is 5th, beaten 8 lengths at 2 starts ago, registered a 50 buyer. Then she's 3-5, drew off by 6, but only got a 9-point bump at 59. She was expected to win because the competition was soft.
Oh, good angle there. And how about a 40-1 shot to end your trifecta ticket here? And that's Lapine. This one is cutting back to a mile. Rally last time out, finished second at 99-1 against this level of competition, going a mile in the 16th. This horse, 15-1 on the morning line, certainly can help to try or super pay a little bit more. I don't know if that was an aberration, finishing second in its last race at 99-1. But with the scratch of Quinta Tata, I think the race wide open for the bottom part of it.
I think it's wide open, period. There's not a huge delineation between the contenders and the pretenders, at least according to the morning line and the buyers in this race. Number 7, Vineyard Nita, may have bounced herself after a great debut run in South Florida. She didn't run well last time out, but that does not mean she won't run well here today. She's 5-1 currently. I would expect that price to creep up just a little bit.
Yeah, ridden today by Roberto Alvarado Jr.
We'll learn now to the second race. Second race on the card is on the main track at 7 furlongs. These are claimers of the $6,250 variety. We have a field of 7 signed on in here. The morning line favorite is a horse dropping off the turf in Battleback John.
Yeah, turning back to 7 furlongs on the main track after dueling for the lead and fading against 10,000. 2 claimers going 2 turns. That was 7.5 furlongs on the turf. If you followed my analysis over the last 712 years, you'll know I love horses showing speed on the grass, going 2 turns, turning back to 7/8 of a mile. I think this horse carves out a stalking trip. Thought it was going to get a little bit more of a price in here, but morning line favorite, I believe 5-2 or something, 2-1 actually.
Well, and the other people who have been watching you for those same 712 years also know that you're the president and founder of the Key Race Club, and the number 2 Battleback John lost to a repeat winner 2 starts ago, won a good second.
Yeah, no, number 4, Old Time's Sake, should take some action in here when he removes to the Peter Waldebon through the claim after rallying to come within a neck of winning at this level and distance last time out. Takes some weight here, goes with the apprentice Lane Luzzy.
This horse is likely to go favored, at least in my view. This horse was favored last time and favored the time before that, and now makes another barn switch to the ever-potent combination of Peter Walder and Top Hat Thoroughbreds. I figure that this horse is the one to really beat in this race. Certainly appears so off the last 2.
A horse that every track announcer loves is the 5 Oohs and Ahs, because they get to say that in the stretch and they don't really have to think. It's just a mindless call. This one has made only 2 starts since May 2014. Plummets to the 6,250 level. First race since facing 16 optional claimers, but it was last May. He's only made 2 starts since 2014. Shaky proposition on my part.
I agree with you, and however, I don't agree with the mindless call part of it. There's never a situation where I would say anything is a mindless call, but maybe it sounds that way.
No, just starting the week off having a little fun with my boy Pete.
We'll move now to the third race on the card. Maiden claimers of the $35,000 variety. These are 3-year-old fillies with a field of 7. A couple of horses in here have some questions to answer, including the likely favorite, Lucent Lady, who drops off the turf.
Yeah, dropping to the $35,000, going back to the level, going back to the main track, returned from about a 6-month layoff, tracked the pace, faded to 8, and what should prove, I guess, to be a useful performance, so I went and looked back for a stat on this, and I got a stat with Ralph Nix over the last 5 years, second off the layoff with horses going from turf to dirt, so it's specialized. He's 4 for 26, 15%, 46% in the money, $1.63 ROI. Nothing jumps off the page at you with that stat. I just thought it was the logical one, but as you mentioned, does come with some kind of questions.
Well, I think this whole race has a lot of questions. I actually quite like your second play in this race. The first-time starter from the rail with Edgard Zayas. Going to have to go. Let's hear about AJ's MX.
Yeah, it's the daughter of Taylor Vacati, who's been charging hard during her morning workouts in preparation for her career debut. You mentioned the trainer, the jock, Edgard Zayas, Gilberto Zerpa. But it's always that inside post, first-time start is always an adventurous situation.
Definitely is. I like the fact that this horse looks like she's been showing some pretty good speed in the mornings. Trainer Gilberto Zerpa doesn't have a huge sample size with first-time starters, but the sample size that we do have to go on is very, very good. It's over a $6 ROI.
Well, the old adage of the longer price of the young couple entry may be winning, and we got that with the 4 Backsplash, who's also trained by Ralph Nix, dropping into the maiden claiming ranks after tracking the pace, finishing 5th. That was maiden special weight competition. Has an apprentice Lane Luzzy, so that maybe that's the one that jumps up and win. I think it's a wide open affair, and I'm like you. I'm leaning towards that first-time starter. Did not put it on top of my ticket, but I would not leave it off my ticket.
Well, the thing about Backsplash, just to touch on her for a moment, you mentioned her finishing last in her debut run.
Right.
She ran so bad and has worked so well since.
Right.
Almost makes me wonder if something wasn't wrong.
Right. Yeah, maybe she was last. She was 5th in last, so it wasn't a big feel and everything, and maybe she just bounces back.
She's got a bullet drill since then. She's actually had 2 good works since then, so she seems to have come out of the race in good shape.
Yeah.
I love it when you do that. He just drops. It's like mic droppings. Boom. One word. Move along. Fourth race. We'll move along there now. 6 furlongs. Claimers of the $30,000 variety. A field of 6 signed on in here. The morning line favorite drops off the turf. However, the horse that I think is the horse to beat is the horse you used third. So we'll get to him in a minute. You like Fish Fan.
I like Fish Fan on top. This one is turning back to 6 furlongs after returning from a couple of months freshening to show speed and fade behind a hard-knocking horse called Bullets Gone Astray. Is a 35 optional claimer. I think this one is spotted good against these 3 lifetime claimers. Trying to beat the favorite in here, the 6 Trev, the morning line favorite in here, Pete. I found this to be a wide open fan. If you saw my early Big 5 ticket, I went 4 deep in this race, and I was afraid to leave Trev off the ticket. I know you wanted to show a horse in this race.
Yeah, I want to show Point Made, but let's not go there yet.
Yeah, okay.
I want to set something up first. This is the regular watchers of this program are going to be very disappointed in one respect only. We'll be having pancakes here pretty soon as my tenure on this telecast will end.
Right.
But at this point, we're tied 1-1.
Right.
Now, this race, you're giving me one. You're giving me one. Fish Fan got beat 11 lengths last time out, which means that he was over 9.5 lengths behind Looks Good, who you picked third. I'll take Looks Good against Fish Fan for today's pancake bet of the day.
Sounds like a good deal, and you know we're basically 1 for 1 right now, so we're all even. And if you're not aware, we have this fun wager each and every day, and whoever ends up with the most losses when Pete goes back to just calling races upstairs. When Acacia gets back, he's got to buy the crew pancakes from, I think, McDonald's. I hope.
I think we settled on. I think we settled on Denny's. The all-you-can-eat. We'll just rotate in and out. We'll go to the bathroom and then have somebody slide in.
Well, it looks
That's
good.
The plan.
I looked in the paper today because I really had a tough time with this race, and it looks like everybody in America has picked Looks Good in this race.
For good reason. Looks Good's the horse to beat in this race and went favored last time out. Soundly defeated Fish Fan. Has more tactical speed than some of the closers in this race, but doesn't need to lead like Fish Fan or Trev. But we'll talk about Point Made now. He'll be definitely the longest shot in the race. He did have an alibi last time out, I thought, and we'll see it now from the outside. Point Made will turn for home and drift very, very wide off the corner. I didn't know at the time whether Donis was race riding Carapano, but what he did do was he gave room to Baduke in the black cap. If he doesn't drift like that, Baduke would have never had room. Now, Baduke is going to kick away, and it looks like Baduke's on his way to an easy win. However, Point Made's going to re-rally at Baduke and actually peel back some ground in the concluding stages of this race. He's all over the racetrack, Point Made, but he is coming on again at the eventual winner, who got a perfect setup. I thought that stretch kick, if he can straighten him up a little bit better, and this race does fall apart, he could get a share, although I think for multi-leg purposes, he's a cut below.
Yeah, and one other horse I wanted to mention, Pete, besides, you know, Fish Fan Looks Good, and as we just showed you, Point Made is 50-1. Hornerman is stepping up the competition. He responded to a surface switch. Really nice performance, won by about 5.5 lengths, but it was against 12-5-2 lifetime claimers. Ralph Nix, trainee, is listed as a gelding. Tyler Gaffleone, just one of the horses. I found this race wide open. Maybe I handicapped it wrong, but if you can, on your early pick 5 ticket, you want to go deep, maybe even add a horse like Point Man.
No, single Looks Good. That's how much I like him in this race.
Okay.
We'll move now to the 5th race, which starts the Rainbow Six, which means that we won't move there yet. We're going to take a brief timeout. We'll have to compose our thoughts. I'll take the gloves off. We'll go back to being genteel citizens right after this.
Got my hands crossed.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest that we have going on. It's called Beat the Expert. Every Friday, if you're able to pick more winners than me or my co-host Ron Nicoletti, then you will have the chance to win a free polo shirt that says that you beat the expert. Go to facebook.com/GulfstreamPark to enter and use hashtag #BeatTheExpert to let us know that you're playing. Bring it on.
And we're back now after composing ourselves after some early morning shuffling, and well, we're still here. We're not going anywhere anytime soon, and we're ready now for the Rainbow Six sequence on the Thursday program. Race number 5 on the 10-race format does start the Rainbow Six. Ronnie, you've hit this a couple times in the last couple weeks. Can we do it again?
Well, it's a tough one today, but I did find a single in here. I'll show you my ticket real quick, and you see it is in race number 8. It is the 3-horse, and that is Lyrica, and this horse would really keep him company with some multiple stakes winners. I thought that was the single there. 3-3-2. The 9th race went went deep. The long shot today is the number 1 in the 9th race, 15-1, and $38.40 for my ticket this afternoon.
Definitely the right single. If you're playing the Rainbow Six and you need a single, Lyrica's the one to do it. It also means that if Lyrica wins, they're pretty well guaranteed of being a carryover in the Rainbow Six, but that doesn't matter because 70% of the money is going out today anyway.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I like Curlin's Gem to start it off in here, Pete, and this one is dropping to this 6,250 level, stretching out to a mile after rallying to finish third against 12-5 condition claimers going 7 furlongs. Marty Wolfson spots this gelding, I think, well in the usually fruitful third start back from a layoff.
Yeah, he certainly appears to be spotted to win this race. He ran very well in each of his last 2 races. I would argue his last race was even tougher than the $12,000 tag makes it seem because Dancing in the Heat stepped up to try the big boys in his next race. The number 8 Papa Pig already tried the big boys. He actually beat the big boy last time out when he defeated the heavy favorite while 4th last time.
Yeah, I like his price on the morning line. I think he's like 10-1 or something. He's making his 17th start of the year. He doesn't miss any dances in here. He's dropping to this level. He followed a 6,252 lifetime victory. He was a late closing 4th against 10,000 optional claimers. It was on the wet track listed as good. I don't think that's his game. I think there's a reason for this horse to come back and run well this afternoon. I mean, I'm not enamored with him, but I think he can grab a share, and his horse has jumped up and beaten me a few times in the past.
Well, you know, he's really reliable. Look at his last, let's see, 6, almost 7 races. I think that, yeah, 7 races. His buyers are within 1 point of each other. Right. He's going to run a 60 buyer. If you're looking at the race and you think a 60 buyer can win the race, use Papa Pig. And do me a favor, if you are watching this and you're on Twitter, tweet Larry Comas, tell him that Papa Pig is in today. I got in trouble for not doing that last time.
Oh, really? He likes to know about
He's a big fan of Papa Pigs.
Well, Primetime Tommy, number 6, 6 for 8 in the money at the distance, figures to grab a share after finishing second behind a red-hot repeat winner called Cheech Thunder. Doesn't Cheech Thunder just win all the time?
Yes, he sure does.
I think he's going 1-4 last time out.
Which means that you need to use Janino, Ronnie. Janino under jockey Cornelio Velasquez got beat this far to Cheech Thunder just 2 starts ago.
Well, you can go as deep as you like as long as your pocket can afford it. So we'll see how that racing. That's the 3 I stuck with, but you're right about that. And you have the ability, you got Lyrica, who I singled. If you agree with that, maybe you go deeper in a couple of these wide open fads.
Well, let's look now to race number 6, which starts the late pick 5 on the program. $10,000 claimers, which have not won 2. They're sprinting 5/8 on the turf. A field of 8 signed on in this race, and this race has a couple of questions, including whether Idealism can run the way she did in her maiden score this time, as well as what happens with Flickering, who's easily the best horse in here, but hasn't been seen in a long time.
Yeah, I went with the 1 Legend Moon in here. Is going to depart from the rail after responding to the return to her best surface thus far. Second place finish against 12-5, 2 lifetime claimers, and that was going 5/8 of a mile, which she's going to be doing today. So Legend Moon on top of my ticket. You mentioned Idealism, going to face winners for the first time after returning from that layoff about 5 months to use her speed to defeat 20,000 maidens. Mike Yates, Jose Alvarez. This is a lightly raced 5-year-old mare.
Well, speed is her weapon of choice. I think she probably could get the lead by herself if she wants to. I think that might be the right move. It worked for her last time out. Speed, the weapon of choice. I like your play with Legend Moon, though, because I don't think Legend Moon needs the lead. She can sit behind Idealism, but in front of a horse like Flickering, who still gets no airtime from the Nicoletti camp.
No, because I went with Hiram's Mistress in third. Another stepping up to face non-winners of 2 lifetime competition. Stalked the pace, drew away to defeat 12 maidens. David Fawkes is the trainer. Let me show you a stat over the last 5 years. Winning its last race winner. All claimers on the turf. 4 for 17. Limited sampling, but a nice win percentage of 24%. 53% in the money, and $1.61 ROI. So easy for me to say, but Hiram Mister got the 24% win average from the barn over that limited sampling.
Well, for full disclosure, for those who will like to try to play the Ron Nicoletti against Karma angle,
right,
which means that you went to the wedding, you went to the funeral,
yeah,
but you didn't go to the resurrection.
Right.
You liked First Dixie last time out. She didn't run well.
Right.
She'll now be a better price here this afternoon. If anyone's looking for a Beat the Expert a day early, maybe First Dixie.
Yeah, maybe that's First Dixie. It's happened to me numerous occasions when I jump off the bandwagon.
City of Weston comes to mind.
Oh, my goodness. Don't even bring that horse up. I never got that horse. Never won 1 second with it.
Well, let's move down to the 7th race on the card before I lose my composure. Start of the late pick 4. 4, 50-cent late pick 4 with race 7. These are 2-year-old maidens. The purse, nothing to sneeze at here, $55,000. Brings out a field of 9 set to go postward. Pretty darn good field. Mike Yates finally gets some respect, at least on the morning line, with halfback as the 2-1 morning line.
Yeah, he's
favorite.
a son of Back Talk, who's by Smarty Jones, debuting for trainer Mike, as you mentioned. Yates, series of solid morning workouts showing preparation. It's the career debut. Gets Lasix, wand labor handling. Gets the outside draw, which might be nice for that horse. Making his debut performance.
He'll be in front. I would think that would be the case. Yates horses are precocious. They always come ready to fire. Outside gate, horses working 46 and change. There's no secrets about what his move is. He'll be charging hard from the outset.
Well, number 1, Brave Rooster, and I did not know there was roosters that were brave. In the world. I mean, I have no dealing with roosters, do you? I mean, was given some time off after showing a positive late run when finishing 5th. His 5-furlong career debut was back on July 2nd. Ramon Morales is the trainer. Jesus Rios inside post this afternoon. And this rooster is going to have to be brave to get the job done and maybe beat a first-time starter that's working well like halfback.
I have no idea what to say to that. Let's move now to the 6-horse Lionheart Legend. I do have something to say about him. I agree with our racing form analyst, Marty McGee. Harry Benson's stats don't tell the story. He can get one ready if he needs to.
Yeah, you know, if there's a concern, this horse has had 11 morning workouts that have looked like they're trying to get this horse ready for an awful long time. But you're getting the leading jock, Tyler Gaffleone. I think that, you get tip there that they're expecting this horse to run well with the leading rider in it. It's a son of Custom for Carlos. And I think a horse that you certainly got to give a second look to. And, yeah, Harry Benson doesn't start as many horses as he did in the past, so it's hard to use those stats to see what he can do. If the horse is ready, he can make it win.
Well, he certainly looks like he's ready. There's no breaks in the workout pattern.
Right.
He's been working steadily every week, every 6 or 7 days he's had a workout. So they put a 3/4 breeze into him. He just looks like he wants to make sure he goes to the post fit, which is always a good plan, as we're now in the time of year at the 2-year-old races where 6 furlongs and even 2 turns is an option.
Yeah.
First the rooster, now the one-word drop. He's making things difficult on me. Great that this is live television. Race number 8, first leg of the late pick 3 and the Thursday feature, an allowance optional claiming event for a $43,000 purse. All right, big boy, talk about a one-word name, Lyrica.
Lyrica, now this horse, if you remember my Rainbow 6 ticket, this is where I single. Lyrica is going to stretch out, as you mentioned, to 6 furlongs with blinkers added after rallying to come within a half length. We're going to go back and show you this stretch run. And it came within a half length of beating a pretty nice horse here, and that's Cajun Delta Dawn. We're going to show this as the horse turns from home. Pete and I just thought this was a solid performance, running late, and certainly was is the 4-horse in here. Lyrica keeps coming, and Cajun Delta Dawn goes to the inside and gets the job done here. And Cajun Delta Dawn comes back and wins the Desert Vixen in his next start. This horse just continues to keep running, and I think in this spot, certainly the one to beat with the stretch out to 3/4 of a mile.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, wow, that was easy. So he agrees with me there. And, as I mentioned, flattered by Cajun Delta Dawn. So my top pick, my single in the Rainbow 6. But what about the performance of number 6, Creative Talent, last time out?
Oh, you tossed me that one. Creative Talent, big winner last time out. Why was the horse a big winner? Could be getting him better. That's certainly an option with 2-year-olds. Blew the doors off him when dropping off the turf. Lyrica's the proven commodity. Creative Talent is the now horse.
Yeah, Creative Talent, boy, that was some performance. I went back and looked at it. Now, what about this horse, For Mia? Second to Lyrica in their 5-furlong maiden test back on June 23rd. Goes back now and renews the rivalry. Drew away as the even money favorite to break her maiden at 4.5 furlongs. Now, 10-pound apprentice Ryan Gazziter is going to be in the saddle, going to get in with 108 pounds unless he's a couple of pounds over or something like that. Looks like they're looking to send this horse with the lightweight apprentice on it to maybe upset the apple cart.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Two
that's
can play that game.
3, 6, and 4 in race number 8. Let's go to the 9th.
9th race, first half of the late daily double, as I can be just as obnoxious as you are, sir. 7.5 furlongs over the turf course. This is a great betting race. Bocati, the 9-horse or the 10-horse, is out of this race. A field of 9, but a lot of different ways to go in here. And I like to hear about Dunkirk's boy, Kabisky, second start on turf at 4-1.
Yeah, turning back to 7.5 after promising 1-mile turf debut, and there's not much difference in that distance of 7.5 to a mile, in which he set the pace. He settled for second. It was against 16 2 lifetime claimers. You mentioned the connections, Eddie Castro in the saddle. Just thought that was a logical contender in here, but you're right, this is a great betting race. The favorite is on the outside, Chatino, who I can understand being maybe the morning line favorite, but I split it, with the 7, Felafran, who's dropping into this 2 lifetime claimer. Returning from the layoff at Belmont during June, this horse didn't run a step against 50,000 starter races on the turf. The last time this gelding was at Gulfstream, he was beaten the neck in the 2015 Grade 3 Palm Beach Stakes. What do you do with this horse?
Well, I want to go back, first of all. I think you brought up something that's extremely relevant, and it's something that you've said before, but for the benefit of the people who didn't hear what you were talking about before, you made the statement that there's not a huge difference between 7.5 furlongs and a mile on this turf course. Can you explain that?
Well, you know, the way with the run-up and everything like that, it just comes to be a few yards less than an actual mile. So a lot of people are under the the thought that this is a sprint here. 7.5 furlongs is absolutely a 2-turn race here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, the run-up is long. What Ronnie's trying to say is the run-up at 7.5 furlongs might as well be at the mile starting point.
Right.
That's how far. That's another facet of handicapping when you're looking at the turf races here. You have to keep those run-ups into consideration.
Yeah, and then Felafran, what do you think? This horse comes back and run? I mean, are you intrigued by it, or?
Not really. The horse has run dull since his March 2015 graded stakes debut. He ran great there. He starter allowance. They tried to protect him. But he just isn't running any good. Now he's been laid up since June. He's here plunging in class. Seems like they're giving up on him to me.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of the horses that have had similar situations like this shipping it from New York have run okay, and I made a point to leave them off because I wanted to watch them in the race, and they've come up to bite me a couple of times. So we'll see with that. I mentioned Chatino's on the outside, is dropping to this level after hitting the board in 2 of 3 turf races against 30 condition claimers. Larry Pilati, this one sits an ideal trip from his outside post. He likes to just be off the pace, and I think he can run well in here. But where's the speed coming from in here?
The speed's coming from Dunkirk's, boy.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the engine here. Don't worry. Captain Keane may have something to say about it, but he won't be around for long. Lemon Royal didn't have a great trip last time out. Gets his rider back in Rispoli. 8-1 on the morning line. That's a horse that you may have to include in your late daily double wagers. But as we segue to the 10th and final, I think Ronnie and I have a word of caution. Call it the Surgeon General's warning. Call it the race analysis warning. Whatever you want to call it. Don't look at the program. See Feronius at 3-5 and go, ooh, good, a free square.
Yeah, this one, if you read my analysis, he's 0 for 16. I got him as a tepid nod in the nightcap, and I was a little surprised to see that he was 3-5 in the morning line. On paper, logical, but I think you got to get a better price than that. And you wanted to go back and show you Feronius' last start.
Yeah, and it's not because I want you to jump on the bandwagon. I just want you to see what you're getting with this horse. This is maidens at the bottom, by the way, at 1 mile. This last race was 2 turns, but Feronius, he's down inside. He's the number 2 horse. Look, he's under a full-out drive, and he's going nowhere. The rider's asking him to run. He's been passed by 1, and now 2 horses, including the eventual winner at 2-5. This horse is not supposed to run 3rd in this race. No. He's 4th now. He's done. He's not going anywhere. But what's going to end up happening is that the number 5 horse in this race is going to end up tiring. And now, by the way, the 5 is into 2nd. The eventual 2nd-place finisher is the 6, Toother Bell, who also like he's put the cue in the rack. So all in all, Feronius wide and 1 paced. If you want wide and 1 paced at 3-5, I enjoy that you're a fan of this game, and I'll enjoy trying to figure out who's going to win this race.
Yeah, I think you got to go deeper in here. With there's no way you can single another horse. Yeah, I mean, just you stare.
1 paced, 1 paced, 1 paced, 1 paced. The 5 finally hits the proverbial wall. That's different from proverbial screws, by the way. And Feronius is going to get up and beat him.
Well, what about Focus Pocus, who faced better on the dirt at this level during July? He's going back to the main track. He failed to show much. It was against 12-5 maidens on the turf. So I just thought maybe off those performances on the dirt, he can run well in here.
Well, you know the 5 horse that we just watched?
Yeah, right.
That was Focus Pocus.
Oh, really? Never mind. And then Southern Touch, 30-1 on the morning line, is dropping. 10 level on the dirt. Showed speed, faded. 12-5. You know I'm a sucker for horses going from turf to dirt. And, so maybe this horse runs well in there. I'm in agreement with you. Feronius, I got I got to go deeper in here. Have
Well,
you found anyone that you like better?
What about Street Brilliant? This is the kind of race that a Dorochenko Perennial Maiden has got a good shot in. I think this horse will appreciate a one-turn mile. He's been running one turn, but he's been sprinting and he's been trying turf. He's been trying pretty much everything. His races 2 and 3 starts ago on turf are good enough to think that he has a chance in here. Running style-wise, he should be well situated. As with Ferronius having that one pace, I think Street Brilliant has 2 options. He can either try to go with the one pace and out-kick him, or he can let somebody else do that and then sit off the pace. So I like Street Brilliant. I also gave a look to a big price in here, number 3, Indigo Heart. He only has 2 races. You can excuse his first race, but he didn't really run that poorly. His first race over the Gulfstream Dirt was not that great either, but there was his first start with blinkers. It was a lot of first for him. It was his first start on dirt. Gets a rider switch to Louis Castillo. It'll be a huge price, and there are some things to hang your hat on.
He veered at the start in that race, too, so maybe if he keeps a straight course, I think there's lots of different options in our final race of the afternoon. 10 runners in there. If you can, and you like Lyrica like I did a little earlier on, maybe you go a little deeper in this final leg. And like Pete said, don't get lured by the 3 to 5 favoritism, even though that horse can win. On paper, he's supposed to be the one that wins.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's the heaviest favorite on the card here this afternoon, and so we don't want you going, oh, look, free square, free square. He may be one, but not based on his current resume.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. I set you up for that one. We're now 30 minutes away from our opening contest. That's our thoughts on today's racing program. I'll be back momentarily with a reprise of the scratches and changes. For track announcer Pete Aiello, that would be me, and race analyst Ron Nicoletti. Good luck today.